Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. My name is Elias Ben Khalifa from Applied Education. Just wanted to thank you all for signing on for this afternoon's Casual Employee webinar session. We'll be getting started shortly. We're just going to wait for a couple more people to sign on. In the meantime, if you have any questions, you'll notice in your webinar jam there is a chat bar. If you have questions as we're going through the presentation this afternoon, type them into that chat box and I'll review all questions at the end of the presentation. So just sit back, relax, and we'll get started in about a minute or so. Thank you. All right, so I think we're going to go ahead and get started. Again, my name is Elias Ben Khalifa from Applied Education, and I am the main account manager with Applied Education, working with the Algoma District School Board. And this afternoon, we're going to spend the next 20 minutes or so reviewing how you will be using Applied Education, your Applied Education profile, for daily supply assignments with Algoma District School Board. And if you haven't done so, what we're going to do is we're going to walk through how you'll be able to create a profile, register online. Once you've been approved as a casual employee with the board, what are the next steps from there in terms of setting up your availability, accepting assignments, and so on. So let's go ahead and dive right in. First thing that you're going to do at appliededucation.com, if you have not created an account yet, please do so. You will need to click on either login register here or here. Now, for those that have created the account, you just log in with your username and password, click login. Those that have forgotten your login information, maybe haven't logged in a little while, you're going to click on this forgot login. You're going to enter the email address associated with your account. You type in this word verification. It is case sensitive, which is what I'm highlighting there. You're going to type all this info in uppercase, no spaces between the letters and numbers, and then you hit the submit button. Okay, using the right email address, so logging into that email address, an email will be sent to you with the password reset link. You click on that link, you reset your password, and it will then log you into your account. Now, what happens if you do not have an account? Well, you're going to click right here at the bottom right where it says register. And you're going to complete the registration steps. So for those that are ECEs, EAs, clerical, casual employees, you will be creating your account under the ECEA clerical job category, position category. You can enter a username, create a password. You'll create your password, first name, last name, enter your credentials, your province, your email, confirm it a second time, another word verification step. Again, it is case sensitive. There are no spaces. If you can't read the information, maybe it's not clear, just hit this generate new image. It'll create a new word verification algorithm for you. Type in the information. Take a moment to read through our terms and conditions when it comes to privacy. In other words, your information is kept confidential. Once you agreed, you simply check the checkbox and now you click register. Once you've registered, you will receive an email confirmation with your username and password advising you that you've now registered in Applied Education. So for those that are, that are going to be completing the step, very important that you do so. And once done, you reach out to HR to let them know that you've completed this step so that we can then make you visible and have you approved as a casual employee. So let's see what happens now once that's done. So I'm going to go to I have a test account here that I'm going to log into. And for you, okay, please don't worry that it's a teaching account I'm logging in. The use of applied education is going to be the same thing for all casual employees, okay? So once you've been approved as a casual employee for supply work with Algoma District School Board, you'll have a new tab added to your profile called Occasional Employees. Here's where you'll be able to adjust your settings for contact preferences and the schools that you're willing to supply at, as well as any assignments that you'd be willing to complete. Your calendar, this is where you'll manage your availability. We're going to skip the view openings, and we're going to take a look here. We have a couple of other options. You're going to also skip EasyConnect job board for the time being. And what you're going to see here is EasyConnect postings archive. This is where you'll be able to track assignments that have been offered to you. And then EasyConnect accepted postings. These are the assignments that you've been offered, that you've accepted and completed. And we're going to look at those momentarily. So once you've now been set up with this occasional preference tab, you're going to highlight it, and we're going to start off by clicking on our occasional preferences option. Your school district will be listed here. And at the far right, you're going to click on edit preferences. Now, very, very important to note, guys, that you are aware of your employee ID number, because that is how you will be identified in the system as an employee with the Algoma District School Board. So the system, our call-out system, will call you and send you an email. So you will receive an email to the email address of your choice. And as a best practice, if you guys are using smartphones, whether it's an iPhone or an Android, set this up so that it's the email that goes directly to your phone so that you're immediately getting that information. So with every supply assignment that's offered to you through EasyConnect, you will get an email. Additionally, you have the option of either selecting to receive a phone call or a text message. Okay, if you choose to receive a text message, just as you can appreciate, if you receive a text message, you'll be forced to log into your applied education profile so that you'll be able to go in and accept your offered assignment. I'm going to walk you through that as well. So let's assume we want to have this set up as phone number. Okay, and again, any changes that you make here are adjusted on the fly, so it's in real time. So if you have it set up so that you wanted to call your cell phone while you're out, but let's say if you're going to be home or if you change numbers, you can update this information at any time, and it'll take immediate effect. Another thing, like I mentioned, that's very important that you remember is your employee ID number, because again, this is the number that the system will be identifying you as who you are as an employee for Algoma District School Board. So as you continue further, we'll click on here. You can click directly here to go in your calendar, but we're just going to leave that for now. If you wanted to, you can also go in and select the schools that you're willing to supply at. It's very important to note here, guys, that this list will still be managed by HR. So HR will approve your list of schools. And again, because the Algoma District School Board is a fairly large geographic area, it's very important that you note where some of these locations are, and you're selecting schools and locations that you're actually going to be able to get to within a timely manner. And again, this list is something that HR will also be managing and approving for you. So very important that if you're going through and you're selecting here, you're not selecting every school, but the ones that best apply to you logistically, meaning easy to get to, and so on and so forth. So once you've made your changes, you've updated your contact info, you've made all of your adjustments, you're just going to hit the save button at the bottom of the page. You get a message that will say data saved successfully and your occasional preferences have been set up. So your availability, so your calendar. I want to point out here, guys, that if you are not available for any dates and you cannot receive supply calls during that time, it's very important that you come in and you update your calendar here and this will ensure that you're not contacted for assignments that you're unable to complete. Now, the good news is that if you accept an assignment through EasyConnect, or if a school contacts you and asks you if you're willing to come here and they create the absence and add you into the absence manually, those assignments will automatically be added into your calendar, and that'll make sure that you're not contacted for assignments that would be in conflict with what you've already accepted. So the system is smart enough to recognize when you're available and when you're not. Now, for those instances where you yourself are just physically unavailable to accept assignments for a specific date and time, it's very important that at that point you're coming in here and then you're updating those dates into your calendar. And once you go in here, you're basically going to click at the bottom here, add an event. Gives you a pop-up. You're now going to select your dates. So let's say I am unavailable all day on the 25th of January. Okay, and I'm just going to put here, personal doctor appointment. You can put whatever you want in the description. It's for your own personal information. As far as Algoma sees, the school board or the school will only see that you're not available for that time. So they will not see what the reason is why you're not available. So whether it's a personal doctor's appointment or whether you're visiting a relative in Toronto, that information is kept private. So you can either add a single day, as you can see here. And if you want to make this in a day, multiple day assignment, here it says add days. I'm just going to click on that. And I have the ability to make myself unavailable either for days in sequence. So if I'm not available for the next, for the rest of the week, I just select my date range and away I go. But let's say, as an example, maybe you have a long-term contract. Let's say you're in a long-term assignment at, Blind River Public School. And that contract is going to be from, let's say, today until the end of March. Okay. Now, we can set it up so that you're unavailable for those entire, for every day throughout. But let's say that contract, that long-term assignment, is only for Tuesdays and Thursdays. So I'm actually going to deselect all of those additional days, and I'm only going to leave myself as unavailable for Tuesday and Thursday, effective January 25th till March 31st. Once I've entered that information, I now simply hit the save button, and it will populate my calendar every Tuesday and Thursday from January 25th to March 31st, indicating that I'm not available. And during these times, I will not get any calls from the district or from any other schools for assignments that would conflict with my Tuesday and Thursday. So I'm just going to flip over to February, and as you can see, it populates all my data. All of my instances are there. Again, guys, for assignments that you're accepting through EasyConnect, whether you've accepted it from a call through the system or whether the school has asked you to come in for a day and they've filled you in manually, those assignments you do not have to worry about updating into your profile. That is done automatically. Okay? You're only using this event calendar to enter days where you are unavailable to supply at the district. So let's assume that this particular contract has ended maybe early. There's no longer a need for this long-term assignment at the school. No problem. You simply come into the calendar at any instance. You just click on one of those events. You're going to get a pop-up here, and you can either edit the event or delete it. If you want to delete it, you just click on that. It's going to ask you if you're sure. You say yes, and away you go. Your calendar is now clear, and you're now available to start accepting assignments as of the date that you clear your calendar for those dates and times. And that's it. That's all you need to worry about with your calendar. So for those, okay, so that's that. Now let's continue through the other sections here. So EasyConnect postings archive, guys. I'm just going to click on this here. For those that set up their contact preferences to be by text message, whenever you get a text message offering you a daily supply assignment, it's very important that you guys are aware that you will need to log into your applied education profile. The offers will be listed under EasyConnect Postings Archive. So upon clicking here, this is where in this posting archive, you will see your assignments. Now, towards the end of the month, you might start getting overlapping assignments for, let's say, the next month, for February. We allow you to actually see it month by month so that you can keep track of your assignments. From here, you would simply click on the job posting to open it up, or the assignment, and there will be an accept button that you would click on. Upon clicking on this accept button, you will receive an email confirmation that this assignment is available for you that you've accepted this assignment. Now, in the event that you do not have that information, if the posting is already closed or another employee has accepted the assignment, it will actually tell you that this assignment is no longer available, and it will show that this is closed. So as you accept your assignments, they will go from your postings archive to your accepted postings. So same thing, we give you a month-by-month breakdown so that you can track all of your assignments that you've completed year over year. Okay, and again, we track that information. You can then download it if you want to a spreadsheet so that you can then cross-reference with any timesheets that you've completed at school. And that's our system, guys. So the only other things that are of importance for you to be aware of are your call-out times. So just to review here, your call-out times are Monday to okay. So for morning assignments, same day assignments, your calls will start in the morning from 7 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. Okay, and that's Monday to Friday. So those are for same day assignments. And then Sunday to Thursday in the evening from 5 till 7 p.m. Those will be the calls that you will receive for assignments that are either for the next day or future. Okay, so again, either you'll be getting text messages or a phone call, depending on what you set up, and you will always get an email. As you accept those assignments, you will then be able to complete. You'll then get an email confirmation advising you that that information has been submitted. Another thing that it'll do is it'll populate the calendar with those accepted assignments so that you are not called for assignments that would conflict with what you've already accepted. And finally, the most important thing here is if you miss a phone call and you're not at a computer and you have to reach out to the system, you can actually call back into EasyConnect so that you can then accept an assignment that you may have missed a call for. So the number that you want to call, and it's important that you guys write this down, is 1-855-279-3279. So I'm going to repeat that. It's 1-855-279-3279. Once you enter that information, the system is then going to prompt you to enter your employer ID. So first of all, to identify your school board code is 2. And once you've entered that, you're going to then enter your employee ID number. So if you're not sure what your employee ID number is, you have to call Human Resources, and they will provide you with that information. Or if you're already been approved as a casual employee and you have your occasional employees tab listed here, you can go into occasional preferences. You click on edit preferences besides Algoma there, and you're going to find your employee ID number listed here in your profile. If you have any questions or you need any support or any assistance at all, we have a customer service department that's available from Monday to Friday from 7:30 a.m. until 7 p.m. If you're experiencing difficulties accepting assignments or you're having problems updating your calendar, please give us a call. Okay, and you can reach out to us toll free. And on every single page on appliededucation.com, right at the bottom of our page, you'll find a contact us link right here. You simply click on the contact us link, and you will then be able to find our contact information toll free, 1-877-900-5627. You will also be able to submit an email directly from the webpage here. So you simply enter your inquiry, leave us with your contact information. If it's an urgent matter, you can also select this and then hit send, and a member of our customer care team will connect with you immediately as soon as possible. Our turnaround time typically is same business day, depending on the time that you've reached out to our customer service department. And if you reach out to us after hours, it would be for the next business day. Same thing if you call us. If you call during a higher than normal period where we're receiving high volume of calls, you also have the option to leave us a voicemail, and our customer care team will then also get back to you either the same day, depending on the time that you call us, or the next business day. And finally, just to go back into our applied education profile, we also have a help and training section. So if you click there to access our information, you will find info on accepting EasyConnect assignments, creating and editing you don't have to worry about. But if you want to be able to access, you can do that here. As you can see, you also have the ability to edit your occasional preferences and set up your availability. So all of this is information that's immediately accessible to you. And we'll be doing a major update to the help and training section so that it'll be even easier to access resources for support. And that's our software, guys. So thank you for sitting in on our session this afternoon. I'm going to flip over to our chat box and see if we have any questions, and we will be reviewing them. So let's go through them. All right. So first question I see here is, I am registered as a teacher, but I am an EA for the ADSB. So will this be an issue? So the answer is absolutely not. If you have not already done so, you will need to create another account, and you will do so under this position category so that you're then able to be approved as a casual EA, as an emergency EA, and then be added to the contact list so that you will then have so then you will be able to go in and basically start accepting daily assignments for EA supply jobs. All right, so and let's see. So our next question, we have to contact HR to let them know that you are registered? Yes, absolutely. So for the initial onboard, because this is a new process for your family of schools, if you have not created a profile on Applied Education, it's very important that you do so at your earliest practical opportunity. And once completed, you will have to reach out to then either Dan Swiston or Jane Flaxey in HR. They will then advise us so that we can then make you visible and approved, so that you will be able to start accepting those assignments. So very important, as soon as you register, please send an email to HR to let them know that you're now in the system and that you will be ready to, and that you need to be approved as a casual employee. If we are in a long term right now, do we start using this ASAP to book days off, or do we continue to let the principal know what days we are not available? So as soon as you create this profile, and as soon as you're approved as an occasional employee, I highly recommend that you go in and you update your calendar with those dates for your long-term assignment at your earliest practical opportunity. This will ensure that you're not offered assignments that would be in conflict with your schedule, and will ensure that you're only getting, and will ensure that the supply calls that you will be receiving are ones that you are available to complete. So this also helps you. It's a benefit for you as well, to ensure that you're only getting offered assignments for jobs that you are available to complete. Okay, so I'm a teacher on the other board, so I usually see what that call as priority. What would you recommend for accepting calls? Also, when will calls go out? Okay, so calls will go out as mentioned, guys, for your EA assignments from, so in the morning, they're from Monday to Friday from 7 a.m. until 12 p.m. And in the evening for future next day assignments from Sundays to Thursdays in the evening from 5 p.m. until 7 p.m. And I apologize. Same day assignments are from 7 a.m. until 12:30 p.m. I'm a teacher on the other board, so I usually see what that calls priority. I would so for so is there a time frame to accept assignments? Yes, there is a time frame. So if you are receiving a phone call or a text message, our system will basically wait 3 minutes before contacting the next supply employee. Now, in the event where you missed the call, that assignment is still open for you to accept as long as another supply employee does not accept that assignment. Again, to do that, you can either call into our system through that 1855 phone number, or you will go into, your applied education account. Same thing if you get a text message offer. You'll go into your occasional employees tab. You'll highlight your EasyConnect postings archive. The offered assignment will be listed there. And of course, once you've then selected the assignment, you would click on it, and there will be a big accept button that you would click on to accept the assignment. As long as that assignment is open, even if it's contacting other employees, supply employees, if it's still open and has not been accepted, you can still accept that assignment. Can you please provide an example of what the text message will say? The text message will say, you've been offered an assignment at, let's say, Blind River Public School for this date and this time. To accept, and you'll have a link, please log into your applied education account. At that point, you'll then log into your applied education account to accept that assignment. Can I still get called for EA work when I'm generally an ECE? So the answer is yes. And the way that it's going to be set up, whether it's an EA assignment or an ECE assignment, the callouts are going to be prioritized by what the qualification is. So if you're an ECE, you're going to get offered ECE assignments first. And if an assignment has exhausted contacting all ECEs, it will then move on to the EAs, and vice versa for educational assistants. If an assignment is for an educational assistant, the system will call those educational assistants that are qualified and approved for that school first. And if it has exhausted that list, it would then go back to, it would then contact the ECEs. Okay. In the school list options, what is the difference between AEC, Urban Aboriginal, and Urban Aboriginal Alternative Schools? So for those, that is something that I believe is set up by the school board. That is probably something you'll have to verify with HR. I believe one, and again, I'm just assuming, I believe one is probably an adult education center, probably AEC for Urban Aboriginals. And then you have the Urban Aboriginal Alternative School. Again, I'm only speculating on what that could be. What I would recommend is that you connect with HR to determine what those locations are. Can you please repeat the times during the day and evening when we will get an email or phone call? Okay, so the system is going to be calling out all supply offers in the mornings for same day, from Monday to Friday, from 7 a.m. until 12:30 p.m. These calls will be for current day assignments only. So you will not get calls for any other assignments other than for current day. In the evening, from 5 p.m. until 7 p.m., from Sundays till Thursdays, the system will then be calling for assignments for the next day or future assignments. Okay, the system is always going to call the most immediate assignments first. So that's why in the morning, you'll get the same day, current day assignments. In the evening, you'll receive next day and future assignment offers. And so can you please repeat the phone number? So if you wanted to call into EasyConnect, the phone number is 1-855-279-3279. Now, for the Algoma District School Board, you're going to have to enter an employer code as well as your employee ID number. Your employer code for Algoma District School Board is the number 2. And your employee ID number, as mentioned, is listed in the Occasional Preferences section. So if I click on Occasional Preferences, under Occasional Employees, and then for the Algoma, I click here on this Edit Preferences, I can see what my employee ID number is there. If you're unsure, you can also reach out to the Human Resources Department, and they will also provide you with that information. And just for the record as well, the information that we've reviewed this afternoon will also be sent to you in a concise PDF with reference instructions, including the toll-free number that you would call in if you want to call to accept an assignment that you've been offered by phone, as well as the school board ID number in the system. And again, if you have any questions or you need any assistance, if you need help with creating your profile, again, we're here to help you guys. Please click on the contact us link at the bottom of the page to access our school board our toll-free number, which is 1-877-900-5627. And again, if you want to forward us an email inquiry, you can also do so directly from here. For those that need assistance with creating a profile and getting set up in applied education, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. If you're having trouble with accepting assignments or with hearing your assignments or setting up your availability, please feel free to reach out to us. If you're having trouble with updating your occasional preferences, feel free to reach out to us. We're here to help you. Okay, looks like that was the last question, so I'll give it another minute or two. And keep them coming, guys. This is great, and I'm looking forward to hearing your feedback on how this goes. And as Dan had mentioned in the chat box here, the process will be going live February 13th. Okay, so what is the number for HR to let them know that we have registered? So for that information, I'm gonna ask that Dan Swiston, who's one of the HR officers who's in our chat room this afternoon, I'm gonna ask him to include contact information for you to reach out to. All right, so thanks again for signing in and for joining us this afternoon. I really hope that this was informative and helpful. Again, if you require any support and assistance, you're welcome to contact us toll free. And again, the number is 1-877-900-5627 for our customer care department. A recap of everything that we've done here this afternoon will be sent to you in a communication, as Dan had mentioned. So you'll have an overview and a PDF, as well as contact information for support. And best of luck to you guys, and thank you for your time. So enjoy the rest of your day.